Everybody, welcome to another video from Eric, a Lions fan. Just do a fan's perspective of the games. Trying to do them each week, but I apologize for not putting one up against the the Green Bay Packers. There wasn't really nothing to talk about. I mean, Green Bay really didn't have Aaron Rodgers, and they didn't have a couple of their offensive weapons and a couple their defensive key players. So I didn't really feel it was a need to really put out another video for that game. So I'm pretty much going to focus on the game that was just about 6 hours ago. It's about 10 o'clock Eastern time when I'm doing this, so it's been quite a while. I'm on NFL.com trying to recap the game, trying to give a little perspective on from at least how fans view of it. So we'll go ahead and get started. When I started to watch the game, I couldn't believe this big snowstorm that was in there. That's what caught me in the first eye too, and I was like, man, how can they see each other to try and make a pass or anything? But they made it work. I mean, they knew where people were supposed to be and whatnot. They probably make out silhouettes or however they do it. So, and I did like how Fox superimposed the each 10-yard yard lines, like the 10, 20, 30-yard lines. I thought that was pretty neat, and the technology's there for them to use it. So that kind of blew me away a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. As I'm looking at NFL.com right now about all the statistics and whatnot. McCoy just gashed us pretty much all in the second half. I mean, he had 29 carries for 217 yards, and that was all in the second half. And really above it, they scored 28 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's in those kind of conditions. I know that the defense can't really adjust to what the offense is doing at a snap of the fingers, but I was hoping that it would be more slippery than what it was there. Now I noticed that the snow there was tapering off by the fourth quarter. I don't really even know if it was even really snowing towards the end of the game. I mean, from the camera angle, I couldn't find that it was snowing, but it just seemed like there should be more. At least from my point of view, there should be more slips and slides and things like that. And I didn't really see that in the game today. And Another thing that killed us was the turnovers. I mean, we had 7 turnovers and we lost 3 of them, and that's unacceptable. Turning the ball over is never a good sign for any NFL team or college team or even high school team. So they're just going to come back and hurt you, which they obviously did with a 28-6 run in the fourth quarter that put us. They really didn't do much for us. Thank God for Ross there, those 2 returns for touchdowns. That's what kept us in the game towards the end. There was his unbelievable running. I mean, that dude's fast. Right now I'm impressed with him. I've only seen him a handful of times, but from what I've seen from him, he's looks like he can get the job done. So hopefully he'll be something to look towards the future on for the Detroit Lions. So Bell didn't have a real good game. I mean, he only had 69 yards rushing, but he had 58 yards. So he had 100 all-around total yards, all-purpose yards. So that's not too bad considering the conditions. But the big key there is the rush yards by McCoy. I mean, like I said, he just gashed us, and it just seemed to Detroit really couldn't find an answer for it, and I don't know why that was. They couldn't. It just seems like to me that Schwartz and Linehan and Gunther Cunningham, they can never make any adjustments to try and counter what the opposite team's doing, whether it's today with the Eagles, whether it's another team that one doesn't come to mind right now, but I'm sure if you're a Detroit Lions fan and you're watching my videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They seem to never adjust to the opposite team's scheme. And I think that's why we're sitting here at 7-6 on the cusp of not making the playoffs and only 3 games to go. Now, on the flip side of that, this team is very undisciplined. I mean, it's been undisciplined since Schwartz has been here. I mean, Nick Fairley has. I like the guy, and I think he has a good motor, and he's aggressive, but you got to be focused and not jump off sides. There was plenty of times he was. At least twice that I know of he was called off sides on. So, I mean, I like the aggression. It's just you got to be focused and know what's going on to try and, not make your team the one that wins the I guess I'll call it a penalty battle, or gets the most penalties in the game, because that's going to shoot you in the foot as well. And there was a couple of plays that, or not a couple of plays. There was a couple of penalties there they looked to be phantom penalties, like the holding on Sue. The only way I could have thought that was even remotely close to a penalty was, number one, the referee had been looking at that exact same point, or whoever threw the flag had been looking at that exact point. And number two, when he was grabbing him, I think he grabbed him right here and kind of yanked on him to pull him down. I think that's where they called the flag at. So, but still, it just seems to be so uncommon on a pass play to call defensive holding. It's unheard of. It's unheard of, really. But as your Detroit Lions, you get the most unheard of penalties called on us. So, but you know, the weather didn't help us at all, and we're a dome team too. And there's been debate on that. I don't really look at that as a disadvantage for us. I mean, you got to be prepared for all the elements of the game. I mean, I'm sure when they came into Philadelphia, they knew there was probably going to be snow. So, and I'm sure they probably practiced for that. So, I mean, you're a professional football team. You got to take everything into play here. So, but just the overall, I call it a piss poor showing, especially in the second quarter. I mean, we were just gashed by their by the running. And hell, I going into the game with Baltimore on, I think it's a Monday night game. I think I read it's on a Monday night. I don't know how the Lions are gonna win that, even though it's in Detroit. Baltimore's tough. I mean, they're starting to come on now. They won today against a lowly Minnesota team, which I call a lowly Minnesota team. Now they've seemed to have lost Adrian Peterson too, so that may be an advantage for us going into the last game of the season, but we'll have to wait and see. But you know, if Detroit's not going to go into the game and make any adjustments and just go status quo with the game plan that they've got, they're never gonna be successful. And I really think that being 6-3 and almost having the division handed to you on a plate, and now we're 7-6 going into the last 3 games, I just don't see us. I'll admit, I just don't see us winning the division here. I mean, I'm not being pessimistic at all. It's just I just don't see us doing anything really to help our cause. So, and I know that Green Bay they're going to get back Rodgers, and I don't know if Cutler's out for the year or not, but I know McNown isn't bad either. He's doing a all right job in Chicago. So it's just I just don't see us. I just don't see it working out in the Detroit Lions' favor. So, but that's really all I'm going to go on today. I'm going on 8 minutes here. You know, the last 3 games are really going to tell the tale of the Detroit Lions. I mean, the first 13 games of kind of showing how the Detroit Lions are going to play in the last 3 is really going to define them. Are they going to go in? Are they going to back into the playoffs? Or are they going to win the division and make the playoffs? Or are they just going to crumble and kind of, I call them, they're kind of in panic mode, I believe. I don't think they're in true panic mode, but I think it's starting to set in to be like, hey guys, if we don't win these last 3 games, we might be not going to the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to take a pessimistic approach at it. I just don't see them doing anything in the last 3 games. I see them losing the division, really, and not making the playoffs. So, and we'll just have to wait and see against Baltimore on Monday night. So, anyway, thanks for watching my video, and go Lions. Take care, guys.